Welcome to DC Domingo on a Monday. I'd like to welcome you guys, everybody. We're trying to get a hold of this podcast as life happens. This week marked for me the return to college, not just in general, but, the new college semester started. So I was busy with homework, and also there was a giant protest worldwide. I was part of that, so I do apologize for having the podcast late. I also utilized this, little break to clean up my comic book collection. So I'm going to try and bring you guys some really cool recommendations for comics. DC Rebirth is killing it out there. It's doing great in sales. I don't need to recommend you guys anything. This week is exciting because Gotham returned last week, and this Monday we have Supergirl and Lucifer, and then, the CWs are coming back later on, so I'm really excited, guys. As you can see, that poster on the picture, it's from my room. It's on top of my bed, and I've had that poster for years. It's the cover to the first compilation of Crisis on Infinite Earths from the 80s. It's a re-release. It's a graphic novel. Definitely check it out. I'm trying to work on a new format, and I'm going to have 2 minutes for each topic. That way, when I edit things on iMovie, I only have to make each photograph last for 2 minutes. Otherwise, I have to, find the exact second that I start transitioning into topics, and that's going to be a headache for you and for me, because I don't want to talk about something else and then have a different picture not match it. Okay, well, we're hitting the 2-minute mark, and my pet peeve this week has been comicbook.com. As you can see, the picture included, how do I put this? Comicbook.com had a end of the year poll and asked everybody to vote for their favorite, comic book movies, comic book movie directors, comic book movie actors, and they were very, very caught off guard when Batman vs Superman and many DC comic related properties started to kick ass. And, much to their surprise, democracy is very strong in this country, but they seem to ignore it. Later on, they changed the rules as to say that, the fan polling was only part of it, when that was not specified to begin with. It's not like it was the Electoral College, where we all knew that thing existed prior to voting, So that was a really, really big surprise, and that was, kind of the tip of the iceberg, and some people from the DC started to see all the bullshit that it's coming from a lot of websites like that. And it just goes to show you that there is an agenda. The guy that is quoted below there, he's the guy that runs comicbook.com. I mean, you can't really make this up. There's also reports that, he is in favor of, censorship and questioning the media when he is the media himself. So that's kind of a downer, and kind of trying to get you, not get you riled up, but try to open your eyes that, DC is strong regardless what they say. Speaking of which, the next topic is David Ayer, the director of Suicide Squad, actually replied to a Twitter question by a fan, and this is what he had to say. Looking back on his time with directing Suicide Squad, he said he liked it, that it had some flaws. The only thing that he would do different is have the Joker as the main bad guy, which I can understand. When Jared Leto kind of goes on the record, says that he filmed a lot of footage. Much of that footage was, kind of different takes, multiple takes, tests here and there, delivery line testing and stuff like that. But we've already seen that movie. It's animated. It's called Attack on Arkham. And that was good for what it was. I think that, you know, yeah, people seem to want to have the Joker as a bad guy, but the bad guy of Suicide Squad was not Enchantress or the Joker. It was Amanda Waller. I think people that actually enjoy this movie and realize that Amanda Waller was the bad guy were like, oh man, Suicide Squad is awesome. People who are like, oh man, Enchantress was the bad guy, whatever, they didn't get the movie. Or if they wanted the Joker to be the bad guy, they didn't get the movie. So yeah, I mean, I think that David Ayer, maybe for marketing reasons, and probably would have been better off with the Joker as a bad guy because everybody knows him. But again, I think that having the Enchantress and be the minion of Evil Lord is better, and having Amanda Waller be the actual bad guy is more badass. Speaking of badass, we have this picture of Alyssa Benoist, who plays Supergirl on the TV show. She joined Scarlett Johansson in protest in the Women's March. Why am I showing this? Well, because earlier on, the President-elect Trump made headlines when part of his inaugurational speech quoted Bane, from The Dark Knight Rises. It was all over the news, and this ties into DC a little bit because it does get the brand name out there. I think that having powerful female protagonists is powerful, but also having said actors out there, making a change is actually better. Having people behind the scenes who matter. One of the coolest reasons that Supergirl seems to click with people is that, it has a lot of genuine love for the character. Ali Adler, who worked with Joss Whedon in Firefly, she's a great producer, and I think she's not the main, person in charge, but she does contribute a lot. So yeah, I wanted to include that because at my local march, I was actually wearing my Justice League jacket, and I did get a lot of cool attention, got some high fives. I only regret not wearing a Wonder Woman shirt, and I've been talking to people online, and we might actually have a hashtag pretty soon about guys wearing Wonder Woman shirt supporting women causes. So anyways, that's more on that later. The other cool news is that as we mentioned in the last podcast, The Rock met with a lot of cool people from DC Entertainment and Warner Brothers. They seem to be hammering out a brand new strategy that includes more movies. It's not that the original strategy was failing or that the DC comic universe was in trouble. Case in point, if you remember the original 4, 5, and 6 episodes of Star Wars, Empire was the darkest. So we have Batman vs. Superman being that, like Empire, just completely dark. Han Solo's taken away, Superman's taken away. Same comparison. When we have Return of the Jedi, we're going to have Return of the Heroes in the Justice League. This kind of change in tone it was echoed by The Dark Knight. The night is always darkest before the dawn. So we have that tone, a changing shift, or organically, not forced. And this person on Twitter asked The Rock straight up how that was going to be. And that's how it's going to be. It's just going to be an organic shift. And that's it. Whatever people are complaining about, saying that, Warner Brothers is changing their format because of, critics, they're completely wrong. It was always organic. You can check out Chris Terrio talking about it even before the reviews for Batman vs. Superman came out. You can check out the making of Man of Steel, and you'll hear hints about, his arc, Anyways, these are all the news that we have for you today. I will try and have a video later on in the week. Anyways, enjoy DC Comics. Thank you.